Hey everybody, welcome to Jen Lowry Writes. Tonight, Friday, just finished with homeschool. It is 9:41 and I'm ready to be in this space and start talking about Nanowrimo. Preptober is here. Yesterday was October 1st. So excited about the welcoming of my favorite month. So here we are. And I'm going to get started. So there's some things that I have to do prior to Nano. If I don't, these things are going to weigh heavily on me. I have my journal book right here, and I'm sure I'm going to be frequently getting ready to make a list. I'm going to get a new page here of my book. I'm going to move all this down because I have stacks of books beside me. Okay, I'm going to get a new page in my journal because I am prepping and getting ready for Nano. I would love to know what your projects are. What are you guys thinking of? So I was thinking I was just going to edit the Faye of Averly, but I'm actually being productive in the evenings after a long day of work and homeschool. And I'm editing and working with the Faye. And so I actually finished that. So I was way ahead of schedule. So now I've got to say, well, what am I doing? So then I was like, well, why don't I do my Christmas story? Because I'm ready to write book 2 in A Magical Christmas Wedding. And I was like, that would be a great time to go ahead and start that book. So I actually want to write 20,000 words in the month of October. And I'd love to do it here live with you guys. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, and we're going to be doing write-ins. If I have people to join me and they go, set the timer, I will do that. If it's just me, I'm going to just be writing and taking breaks when I need to. But I will do it based on, however, if someone comes in and comments and goes, wait, where's the timer? What are we on? Because everybody has their own kind of style. So I'm appreciative of you guys letting me know what works great for the group. And then now I've got to do one thing before. So my prep is including sending off a book to the editor. And that's what I'm working on tonight. And I am going to set it all up. And I'm going to go to my Google Docs now. And this is how I want to share it. Personally, I have nightmares about track changes on Word. No offense, Word. You're good. You're good to go. But that was how I had to do my dissertation and over 300 pages of it. And those track changes, that, I don't want to see that format. I want to see Google Docs. And I want to see the little comment button on the side. I'm fine with that. I'm moving away from research. And I'm doing my fly, Felix, and me for my editor, because after some careful consideration, and I just keep going right back and forth of what I'm going to publish first for 2021. I need to stick with this, guys. I do want it to be the children's book because I applied for a grant. If I get that grant, then I'm going to have to be like, wait, I got a different timeline here. And if I get it, cross fingers, pray, then that changes up my plans. And I don't find out about the grant until December, which means that I can't do pre-orders, do any of that kind of stuff. So I am holding off on that big project, my middle grades, just because if I get that grant, then it's going to change some things up. So excited about that. So I need to y'all got to hold me back. So Okay. So now I'm going to do each page. I'm going to do it the way that I set up. Okay. And it's just going to take me my fly Felix. My fly Felix and me. My first job. And my husband and I are going to illustrate it. Super excited to work with my husband on this project. And I can show you, I have like my dummy book set up already with the way that I want the illustrations to look. I do want it to be a little simplistic. My husband did some initial mock-ups and they were like, it's a fancy fly. And I'm like, hey, I need it to be a little bit more cartoonish. So this came from a family who requested that I make a video on how to help their kids fill out a form. And I was like, oh, I can do even better than that. I can write a book. It would be great for SPED classes. I'm going to do like page 1. And then I'm going to do page 2. Hi, my name is Felix. I can fly. Can you? And he's needing someone to help him on the job. This is my friend Lucy. She is having trouble. Can you help me teach her how to fly? I need a co-pilot. And so I have set up the characters, I have set up the problem, and I am requesting help for Felix. So I'm actually editing this live with you guys. Then I am sending it off to my editor. It was an October deadline for me when I was going to have this done. And then so I wrote it on the my book template, not in Google Docs first. So now I'm having to transfer everything over. Okay. Oh, you will? Wait, how do we do this? I think you should fill out a job application first. And then there we go to our form. How do you fill out a form? And then thinking about the pertinent information that students would need to know. My special education training kicked in, and I'm like, I remember this being, I want to show you guys this page. I love this page. I'm going to make it big. You tell me what you think. Okay. I am not having, okay. I'm going to share my screen, and I want to show you guys, this has been through the beta read process so much. So many people have helped me with this. This is like one of my favorite pages in the book. So if you come to, of course, to the top, this is just my play around version. So turn into a fly just for the purposes of this book. When you say the end, you'll resume back into your normal self. See small print for details on how it all works. And so this is like the important information that children should be able to call out and to be able to place on forms. And it says, this is really small print. If you are reading this, you don't need to apply. You're already an ant. You are a part of my insect family. Just in case you have 20/20 vision and can actually see this tiny print, you need to understand off the bat that all works of fiction are imaginary. That means when you read this book, or any book for that matter, you can imagine you're in the pages. There is no law against it. You'll be perfectly safe. No one was harmed in the making of this book. Neither will you. Read, enjoy, be a fly. I don't know why, but that brings me so much joy. Why does it? And then reading it with the kids, I can just imagine. So this book is a labor of laughter and love. I'm really excited about my fly Felix and me. And it's great. It would be great, not just for special education classrooms, but for all classrooms. But you guys know I am a special ed teacher at heart. Okay, you passed the first test. Now for the interview. And so it teaches them not only how to fill out a form, which the family asked me, could I help their kid with on a video? It kind of goes to like the next steps, just so kids could practice interviewing skills and having fun. I don't know if you guys ever played careers when you were younger, but I did. I would have loved this book as a kid. So by me pulling it off the pages and actually seeing them in a Google Doc, now I can kind of clean it up. And of course, why do you want to be a fly? Who do you admire most? If you could describe yourself using only 3 words, what would they be? Like, don't we all know those are like top interview questions, except why would you want to be a fly? Of course. I am now on page 7, setting it up and preparing this book for final edits. And if I have anyone around that wants to see any more of the pages, you guys just let me know. I can read a few. Hey, Charlotte, how are you? I am working on prepping a kid's book for an editor. Nice to have you with me tonight. I'm transferring everything from my template and actually getting it in a Google Doc. Because I was just playing around with the way I would want it on the page with the illustrations. Yes, my husband and I are doing the illustrations on this one. Oh, yeah. And he wanted to, I did the pickle jar. I've already done one of the pages for the pickle jar. And my husband has played around with Felix. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Watercolor. We're using watercolor. But we've just done pencil sketches right now. I did some like color pencil sketching, and then we're going to use watercolor. So I used Canva just to kind of build my pages to make it kind of look like what the book would look like for each page, building it out instead of just doing it on a Google Doc or doing it on Microsoft Word. But I wrote it there, and now I'm having to copy and paste the words and put it into a Google Doc so I can send it to my editor. And it will help children learn how to fill out an application or form or know their personal information. That is the main purpose of the book. And then it's just silly about turning into a fly to help a ladybug. Yeah, I was doing like the layout, just setting it up just to see, so that way when I would share it out to my beta group without the illustrations in it, that they would at least be able to see. Oh yeah, January. So hopefully January 1st, we will have it done by then. But I wanted my beta readers, because they were reading it to classrooms and reading it to their grandchildren and their families. I wanted them to have it kind of looking like a book. So I built it all in Canva and sent it out PDF for them. So all my beta readers, I have a lot of librarians, teacher friends. I had librarians read it. I had a librarian read it to a class. And I got tons of awesome feedback. It was so great. That has been like such a fun experience for me, getting all of the feedback. And so each time I would get the feedback, I would come back into my beta reader book and work on it, rework, share it back out for them to kind of see it in its finalized form. That was my process with this one. And then if I feel like I can shorten some of these sentences to have Shorter pages. What have you been working on? Are you going to be doing Nano? And what projects you got coming up? I'm still like, I got to get these done. I want to get this project done so then I can fully focus on starting my new book. I'm on page 11 now. I love the motto. Now it's official. You are working with Felix and Company, where helping insects is never a job too small. It's probably corny, but I like it. So I definitely need some puns in here. Got some really good comments about the placement, the word choice. Hooray! You can do it, Charlotte. You can do it. Yeah, I thought I was going to be editing a middle grades fantasy that I wrote this year. I thought that's what my whole project was going to be for Nano. And then I finished edits early. So then I was like, oh, I've got time. I can write a new book. So I think it's going to be a countdown to Christmas, which is going to be book 2 of A Magical Christmas Wedding. I think that's where I'm going. I'm working on a new series, like a second book in a series. So, and it's a time travel romance. So I love time travel. So it's contemporary, but the first book, she went back to 1955. Now she's going back and it's going to be 1970. I've already done the outline for it. I did the outline the other day. No, this one is going to be New Age. So at first I was thinking, oh, I love time travel. At first I was thinking I was going to do a YA romance this time. But then when I started thinking about the time period that I would want her to travel back to, I was like, no, I don't want to. It needs to be 1970. So I'm pulling it. So my show, if you have not watched this, I'm begging you to go and watch this. Please, for me, it's Quantum Leap, and that is one of my favorite shows. It's one of my favorite of all time. Scott Bakula does an amazing job. So if you have never seen Quantum Leap, that's the jump, y'all. And it might have been just like me watching Quantum Leap. I was in that. We were going back and what my husband loves it too, so we were both watching it. And then when I had my new book, I have this time travel romance, and I'm like, oh, what if it's a little bit because of my love for Quantum Leap? You never know where inspiration comes from, right? Okay. So if you switch genres, where are you at now? Where were you and where are you going? fantasy. Yes. For what age? So yes, love. So I have around 70 pages left of the Fellowship of the Ring. That's what we're reading in homeschool. And my son convinced me, let's watch the movie together tonight, even though we have 70 pages left. And I cried. I was like, what? What? So this is tear-faced Jen right now. And I'm like, we are still, yes, oh my gosh. I just, oh, yeah, I cried. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. We are right there. We're reading in Moria. So, and then he was like, Mom, we gotta watch the movie. Can we just go ahead and watch it tonight? And I was like, yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I missed it growing up. I never read it ever. And then what was it, last year? Maybe it was last year before last. My son is 13 now, so I'm thinking it was 12, 11 or 12. Gosh, I can't remember. Anyway, he was like fantasy, all in a fantasy. And we were looking for top fantasy books to read. And I was like, oh, let's read The Hobbit. That's my favorite book ever, ever. Okay, Bible's my favorite book. The Hobbit, I can start going. The last lecture, I can, a lot to remember. I can start listing out my favorite books, Fahrenheit 451. But I'm telling you, oh my goodness, The Hobbit, I hugged that book and hugged it and hugged it if you have not read it. And now we are so that was last year, the fall. And now this year, oh, the last lecture, oh, tears, tears. It is about a college professor who is giving his last lecture because he's passing away. It is true. It is a true story. It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Oh, yeah. Kleenex. Like, truth. Truth. Trust me. But I love it so much. But yeah, The Hobbit, actually, every time I see Hobbits, when I love to go to used bookstores, love them. And I grab every Hobbit I see. I carry them around in my car. And when I was doing book signings last year, I would just say, here, take a Hobbit. If you don't want my books, just take a Hobbit. you you don't have to buy mine if you don't want to, but I'm happy to meet you. And here, take a Hobbit. Have you read The Hobbit? And I was just like giving away Hobbits. I know people thought I was so weird. People go around and go like, here I was like trying to sell Teenage Exorcist, right? And then I'm like, oh no, you don't have to buy it. If you don't like demons, you don't want to read about an exorcism, just do you like fantasy? Here's a Hobbit. And I'd go in my bag and here, take it. Bye. I can't sign it, I'm not talking, but bye. And then they would be, oh, I've always wanted to read this book. See, you can thank me later. Yeah, trust me. Every time I go into any store and I see Hobbits, I am like so grabbing them. Like, no joke. Yeah, you got to read it. You really need to read it. And now we're reading Fellowship of the Ring, which I absolutely love. Sam actually, that's my son. He actually likes Fellowship of the Ring more than The Hobbit. He liked book 2 better. But we have like 70 pages left. Like, we are right there climbing our way through and it's like the beating of the drum. Oh, it's just crazy. That's where we are. Yes, I absolutely love the Hobbit movie, but I like the book better than the movie. I'm gonna tell you. I am gonna be telling you. I love to see like the cinematography, and that's just a beautiful setting and all that. I bought the set um on my son's Xbox, and it was on sale. He actually got it for like $20, and that's how I figured we were going to be after loving The Hobbit so much. I was like, you know what? Just here, let's just get you the whole collection. He has seen these movies. I asked him tonight because he was like almost like quoting them. And I was like, Sam, how many times have you watched this, buddy? It's like about 4 times, Mama. I'm like, could you watch it more? Oh, yeah, Mom. It's like, dag, buddy. And so now we're tasked with what are we reading next? For fantasy. And I grab fantasies when I'm out, when I'm out and about. So I had some on my bookshelf back there. Oh yeah, he sure did. Yeah, that's the thing. They did some liberties in there in the movies, and they did it again. Like even in the Fellowship of the Ring, they they didn't introduce one character and they pulled another character in its place, which is fine. I understand. And I'm like, yeah, he binged without me. I keep telling him, yeah, I know. I love to write. I've written 4 books this year, only one published. My latest one, Sweet Potato Jones with Swoon Romance. It is contemporary YA. So when you say you want to do YA fantasy, I'm all with you there. But this one was YA contemporary, Sweet Potato Jones, but I've done middle grade fantasy. Lyric Harper is a middle grade fantasy. She's an elemental. So yeah, my son has got me now into the fantasy. And I never read fantasy growing up. I never did. And I get to experience it all with him, which is super cool. Yep. And you've crossed over contemporary fantasy. There you go. I love names. What's your main character's name? You gotta tell me. I love the story behind how authors create their characters, their character names. Faith. You can finish the book. Just remember, your first draft is just capturing your story, beginning, middle, end. You're just getting it there. And then you have time. Um, we watch UFC here, and I think about it as like 5 championship rounds. Love, love it. Um, so don't give up. You keep working. You're going to finish the book. And Nano, that daily writing practice is a good help. So you go ahead and you pull up your manuscript right now and you get started while I'm working my stuff. You start working on Faith, and you got a writing partner. One of my author friends last night, she texted me and she was like, "Are you going to be streaming tonight?" It's like 9:30 after homeschool. I was exhausted. Yesterday, I was so tired. I was like, I cannot go live tonight. Friday nights feel like such great freedom. But I was like super tired last night. But I had just enough energy to say, okay, what can I work on? I've got to get this done. Because if I don't, it's going to be all in my head during Nano. Oh, I love the rules of the job for my kids' book. I love this. I love these pages. I've already drawn out the frog. Totally did not use this frog as an inspiration, but I love. I can show you the rules. If you want to see how silly the Smith is. I drew a red bird instead of a yellow bird, but cardinals are my like lucky charm, I guess you would say. My mom told me growing up so much. If you see a red bird, you'll have good luck today. And so I have a red bird in every room of my house. So that way, when I see those red birds, it reminds me of my mom. I'm kind of sentimental that way. Yes, Charlotte, get to working. You can do it. You have a story to tell. Only you can tell it. What's your favorite YA fantasy book? Oh, I've heard of Thorn and Roses. I've heard of that. Let me go mark it on my want to read. I just put it on my Goodreads. Avatar series. I love book recommendations. Okay. I'm looking it up. Okay. Gosh. 465,000 ratings. Ooh. Anyway, in 2017. Okay. I got them on my list. I am reading this book called What Rachel Did by Kelly Martin. It is a middle grades. I love horror. So, okay. Thanks for telling me. I got it on my list on Goodreads. So I have a book club, Soul Food Book Club, and it's for middle grades and YA readers because that's my favorite areas to read. So I'm always looking for new book recommendations. We did, oh, I know. That book, I love it. I'm on chapter 11. And for the book club, I try not to like read so far ahead. But it's called the Soul Food Book Club if you want to join it, if you like reading different genres. Because in August, we started with Marie Lu, and we read War Games, the War Games book. Warcross. I said War Games. I love that book. That's kind of like a sci-fi YA romance. So it's a gamer. Love it. So we read that, and then we read Jason Reynolds' Long Way Down, which is a contemporary. Loved it. Everybody in the world should read that book. Then we read Midnight Sun from Stephanie Meyer, which is the Twilight from Edward's perspective. Hug that book. Just love it beyond words. And then we did a Sweet Potato Jones party because that's when my book came out. And we did a paint party last week. This time last Friday. It was awesome. And now we are reading What Rachel Did by Kelly Martin. So now we're into spooky. So we go from like all kinds of different genres. So that way we can pop around. But now for the month of October, forget it. It's going to be spooky, scary. And we are gonna be doing, yeah, I did it was hilarious because I made a mistake and then the paint started dripping. It was funny. And it kinda started looking like the book cover. Like, let me see if I don't know if I have here's the book cover. So you see how the paint is dripping, like, all right there? It actually started doing that, and I was like, "Happy little accidents," like, for real. Yeah, my friends were painting too, we were sharing paintings. It was hilarious. So, yeah. Yeah, I drew a scene from out of the book. I painted a scene. It was fun. They're like, "Where can we do it again?" So we might be having some paint night. And I went to Michael's and I got like a set of 7. So we actually might be having a Halloween paint party because it was really fun. And we just were goofing around. Like my friend was drawing like stick people and she was sending them to me. She's another author too. And she was doing digital. She had just bought a new digital program and she was learning it. And she made us into ballerinas. It was hilarious. And then my other friend, she drew stick people to go on her romance cover. Oh yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah. And then of course we had like full-fledged painter in our group and we didn't even know she drew. Like she's been hiding it and she drew amazing. You can go through that video and go and look and see Anne's drawing of her troll. She writes young adult and middle grade fantasy. You would love Anne. And we didn't even know. We had no clue Anne drew. We're like, wait, for real? And she sent it to me in Facebook Messenger. And hey guys. She sent it to me in Facebook Messenger and we were like, what? Yeah, you got to go check it out. It was really fun. Well, let me. Well, all right, guys. Charlotte, it was really nice to meet you. I'm glad we got a chance to hang out. I will hopefully be back online tomorrow. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell. You can get notified when I'm coming on here and we can hang out and write and talk books. And I will check you guys out later. Bye.